All right, Dave, so we are here at the Bryan, Ohio Granary.
A lot of tragedy on this land.
Whoa, there's a lot of potential for hauntings here.
Jack Hayden was down here. His pant leg got caught in the conveyor. His leg started tearing off of his body.
Shot.
Was somebody shot around here?
Then here, you know, shadows, footsteps. Like, I've actually felt something like rush up on me, and I heard the footsteps, and then...
Is there someone here or something here that likes to attack people?
Exactly.
Dude, I have chills.
All right, Dave, so we are here at the Bryan, Ohio Granary. And we came here because we investigated Father John's a few weeks ago. And a couple weeks before that, we did the old Williams County Jail. And Austin Maynard told us about this place. And he said that not only does this place have a tragic history, but there is a darker entity that is seen and heard from. And it has even attacked people here at the Granary. So we came here for a daytime investigation because everyone watching this at home, if you're watching this right now, we are in Australia. And this video is being edited by Connor Biddle from Paranormal Encounters TV. So make sure you go over there and subscribe to Paranormal Encounters TV and give this video a like in support of Connor and all the hard work he's doing to edit 4 videos for you guys while we're running around Adelaide, Australia. But we're gonna go in here for an afternoon investigation, and if you want to see us come back here for a nighttime investigation, put it down in the comments below, and we will see what happens for a couple hours, and we're going to split up inside the Bryan Granary. So here in a couple minutes, Austin Maynard is going to get here, and he's going to walk us through and tell us the history of this place. So what are your first impressions, Dave?
Well, I mean, first rolling up on this place, I was like, you know, it seems very interesting. We've never done anything like this before. And just like you said, the history and the tragedies that have happened around here on this land are just, I don't know, it's very sad. There's a lot of potential for hauntings here.
Yeah.
As sad as all of those deaths are.
When Austin gets here, let's walk in and take a look at the inside and see what this place looks like. It looks creepy from the outside. I imagine it's going to look even creepier on the inside.
I'm sure.
All right, let's do it.
Let's do it.
So this place was actually built in 1920. It was originally across the tracks on the corner lot there, but that one burned down, so they rebuilt this one afterwards. A lot of tragedy on this land. Between Mrs. Hoy, who was killed on the tracks. She got hit by a train and she was decapitated and mangled and unrecognizable. But it happened right at this crossing right here. Early 1800s, Bryan used to be a really big brothel town, and politicians would come and stay in Bryan. A lot of times these politicians would go to the brothels, obviously. They would get one of the prostitutes pregnant. You know, they didn't want to have the baby, they didn't want any kind of record of it. So the prostitutes would bring their newborns, the infants, and leave them along the tracks here. And there were a number of infant bodies found along these tracks.
That's a lot of tragedy for one building.
Oh man, it's really bad, and I think it's manifested some really, really dark energy in here. People have been harmed, people have collapsed, and like psychics have said that they saw this person floating above themselves. So this part was the elevator. It does go up 3 levels, and it goes down 1 level to the basement. Although it's this really rickety wooden box right there, but that's what they would use in a way, with a gate on it to go up and down. And they would gravity dispense the grain from the top floor, go down the chutes, and actually these are some of the pipes that the grain would come into, and they would fill up the carts and then wheel them out, and they could actually come in here into the warehouse. That door right there would open up to the tracks, and they could load the cars from here. But this is where a a lot of the activity is within here, you know, shadows, footsteps. Like I've actually felt something like rush up on me, and I heard the footsteps, and this thing like came from back here. You could hear like running up to you, and then I just felt like a whoosh of static or something, you know what I mean? It was like a cold breeze that passed by me. First experience.
It was a nice welcoming.
Yeah. And then, you know, after that, it's just kind of increased in its energy. It just seems to be getting darker, more powerful. And the more people that have come in here, the stronger it's gotten. And I actually had my first scratches in here.
Really?
Yeah, when Most Terrifying Places, the new season, when they came out to film here.
Was it in this part or the granary?
Yeah, it was actually right in here. This is where we filmed for most of it.
Oh, okay.
And this is where that girl collapsed too, right?
Yeah, actually it was like right here. Apparently, according to her story, she was over here, they were doing some kind of ghost box session, and she started to feel a little lightheaded. And so she started walking this way, and as soon as she got right about to this spot, she just kind of dropped and collapsed, was out. There's a psychic medium, Brandy Marie. She said that she saw her floating above herself, like almost like something had tried to remove her from her body so that they could come in. Brandy actually told me this too, that this thing is more powerful than an elemental, but it picks and chooses when it comes out. And a big thing is like these tracks right here, like, oh my God, like when a train flies by, dude, this place goes off the charts for like good 10 minutes straight, and then it'll die back down. But these tracks are so active, like that's how it works. It's kind of crazy. Like they almost use the energy from the trains flying by. They gather that energy and then just kind of go crazy. So like you'll see shadows, footsteps, voices. So like, you know, it's kind of wild. This place is wild, man. This is actually where Jack Hayden was killed. So
Okay.
down here.
Ready for this?
I'm ready. We read about this story, and this would have been really painful and really tragic.
Yes.
Whew, it's creepy down here.
Oh, very creepy. This was part of the conveyor right here that Jack would have bled to death on. So it would have actually started here, and it would have went up into the elevator.
Did they keep operating this after that happened? Or?
Yeah, it operated until I think the 80s.
Okay.
And then they shut it down. But the way I found out about it actually was when that happened, it was owned by Thaman and Fox. But Margaret Thaman, her live-in nurse actually called me. And because she saw, like, you know, we were doing a Haunted Bryan thing. And she was like, she has a story to tell you. I was like, okay. So I drive over to her house, and she's on her oxygen tank in her house and sitting in her chair. She tells me that her husband owned this place back in the 50s. And then she tells me about this guy. She doesn't remember his name, but she tells me about this guy that bled to death in the basement. And that he had to wait like 20 minutes before an ambulance or anybody showed up. And by that time, he was dead. Basically what happened was there were 2 contract workers from Columbus Grove that came out here to work on the conveyor belt. Jack Hayden was down here, he was working on it, and there was the other guy was up at the switch. He got it fixed or whatever, he said, flip it on, see what happens. Flips it on, but his pant leg got caught in the conveyor. It almost splitting him in half. Like his leg, I can't remember which leg it was, but it got caught and started tearing off of his body. And so Jack sat down here for 20 minutes and bled to death.
Wow. That would be excruciating.
I mean, what kind of what kind of energy does that leave in a place like this?
Right.
Yeah.
You know, on top of the infant bodies along the tracks. I mean, there's a lot of tragedy here. These grounds are very dark.
Which could be where that dark entity either comes from or it feeds on it.
I don't know if the entity was created from the amount of tragedy or if it just came here because of the amount of traumatic energy. So, I mean, it's like, it just makes so much sense. Right?
Yeah.
All right, and so then back in here, I have people tell me that there's like pixies. which I don't understand because like pixies are like, you know, the little fairy creatures.
Yeah.
Like I don't know about that, but I've had multiple psychics say that they see like pixies.
Huh. That's a first for us.
Yeah, I don't know what that means or like where it came from, but that's what I keep hearing. It's not a huge place, but man, oh man, this place can really f with you. Like it can really f with you if you're down here, especially if it's you two and you just have like one upstairs and one downstairs.
Hopefully we find out, you know, like we said, we're gonna do a short daytime investigation here today. If you wanna see us come back whenever we get back from Australia, let us know down in the comments below. And this place is creepy and we'd love to come back and check it out again, but leave us a comment. Let us know if you want us to come back. But you ready to get started, Dave, and to start investigating in here?
I sure am. Let's do it. Let's get to it. Thank you, Austin.
All right, so we are officially inside the Bryan Granary and we are getting ready to split up to do an investigation here. Now, Austin talked about a dark and malicious entity where people have been attacked right here in the warehouse. And it is daytime, but who knows what could happen. Middle of the day, middle of the night, paranormal activity happens all the time. And I'm gonna be going downstairs to where Jack died in that tragic accident back in 1959. And I'm gonna take the spirit box down there and do a session, see if I can communicate with Jack down there or whatever dark entity that is. And you're gonna be up here. Are you excited?
Yeah, I'm gonna be staying up here in the warehouse. I'm gonna have the ghost tube and a REM pod up here and see what I can communicate with while you're downstairs.
Let's hope someone comes out to talk to us.
I hope so.
And if I start screaming, make sure you come running downstairs because something's attacking me. That's right, just leave me for the wolves.
Alrighty, ready?
I'm ready, let's do it.
Let's not do that. Let's not do that.
Let's not do that.
All right, guys, here we are. We're at the Bryan Granary in Bryan, Ohio. And I've got the ghost tube running right here. Supposedly there were a lot of negative paranormal happenings in here. And we're here to try and see if we can communicate with that and try and have that happen for us as well. All right.
Attic.
Very first thing it said was attic.
All right, so I'm headed downstairs right now, and I was not exaggerating. It is dark down here. I mean, just night and day difference, literally. You go down below this thick concrete floor, no light at all, and it is creepy. I can slightly hear Dave, but we're not gonna be able to get past that. We'll have to rely on some of the ITC devices to help us, because not only do you have that, but there's trains flying by here, so unless it's something that's in the room with me that I can't explain and I can't really figure out through cross-referencing, we might just have to claim contamination on that, but that's all right. We've experienced that before.
I also have this device right here that you can try and touch like that, and it'll let me know that you're here. Here comes another train, so this is going to be fun. There's a train coming. Do you like the trains? Whoa, REM pod's going off here. Hello?
Play.
And it just said play. You guys, the REM pod just started going off, and as soon as that happened, the ghost tube said play. Are you playing with that thing? It makes a lot of really neat lights on it, doesn't it? And a lot of really cool sounds.
Jack, my name is Ryan. And I heard you had a very tough job down here, a job that ended up taking your life. And my job is to travel all around the world to places like this, places where tragedy occurred, and to try and talk to people who have passed on. So I'm going to turn on this box in my hand here, and we are going to see if you can use it to speak to me. Is that all right, Jack? All right, Jack, my name is Ryan. Like I said, this box right here in my hand is a way that you can use to speak to me if you get really close to it. What happened? What happened right here, Jack?
Do you know that you've passed away? You're no longer here with us. I believe this is the best spot, so. Please come out and talk to me. And this is another one of those locations where it is just filled with all of these antiques and all of these things that were treasures to people in the past. And they're just sitting here now, so who knows if their energy or their spirit is attached to some of these things.
Trash.
It said trash. This might be trash to some people, but treasures to others.
$14 what? What are there 14 of?
Did he?
It sounded like it said, did he? Did he what? Is this Jack? Did you die down here? Did you get your leg caught in the belt? It was the same man's voice that just said, I'm sorry. You don't have to be sorry. It wasn't your fault. Accidents happen. Depends. Do you feel guilty for that accident, Jack? For what? For what happened down here with your leg being caught in the belt?
Also, I don't mean to be rude. I didn't introduce myself. My name is Dave. What's your name? Can you tell me what your name is? That's not good. There's a first-person view of breaking a $1,200 camera.
Child.
Child. Yes, there were children that were left here, huh? What about a child? Are you referring to the children who were left by the train tracks over here? That was a horrible thing. Are you still here with me? Remember that red light on that noisemaker? Can you try and touch it again? Let me know you're still here.
Is there something here that feeds off of the tragedy? The tragedy of the babies and the tragedy of Jack's death? Is there someone here, something here that likes to attack people?
Exactly.
Exactly. Dude, I have chills. That was so clear.
Exactly.
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 Exactly. Why do you like to hurt people?
Are you attached to an item that's in this building?
Surgeon.
Surgeon. I really would just like to speak with somebody, please. Tell me your name or your occupation, or did you die here on this property?
Andrea.
Andrea. Is that your name, Andrea?
My name is Ryan. What's your name? I'm not sure what that said. 6 something. 6 what? Is that the name of whatever it is feeds off of all of that tragedy? Or is that how many spirits are down here?
Lose strength.
Lose strength. Who's losing strength? Oddly enough, it's the same man's voice every single time. Same man's voice.
I'm gonna set the ghost tube down real quick.
Shot.
Shot. Who was shot? Was somebody shot around here? I'm going to have to stop this and delete a few clips because we forgot to format this, and then start a new clip.
Recorder.
Yep, that's what this is, a recorder.
Watching you.
You're watching me? Where are you watching me from?
Watching you.
I know, you just told me that. Okay, I'm gonna ask one more time. My name is Dave. I would like for somebody to come out and speak with me, if you would like to. I don't want to make you perform. But if you are here, I would love to hear from you. You can use this like you have been.
Talk to me.
I am talking to you. Yeah, guys, I don't know why. Just the one REM pod interaction right when it said play on the ghost tube. That's really the only thing that I've had happen since Ryan and I split up. Hopefully he's having a little bit more luck than I am downstairs where Jack passed away. Hopefully he's making some communication down there.
I'm gonna have to leave here soon. Meet back up with Dave. This is your last chance. Tell me who the dark entity is that lives down here, or in this granary.
All right, so
Well, if you did speak to me, I want to thank you. And this isn't the last time you'll see us. We'll probably be back. But Jack, if you're here, thank you for speaking to me, if you did speak to me, and I hope that you find peace. And that if you're here, I hope you're here because you choose to be, not because you're stuck here.
You there, Dave? So did anything happen for you while you were in there?
I actually had interaction with the REM pod just one time, the whole time I was there. But while the REM pod went off, the ghost tube came through and said play. So that was pretty cool. What about you?
I felt like I was having an interaction with a man down there, which is weird, through the spirit box. I kept asking a couple of questions. He said, "I'm sorry," when I was talking about Jack's accident.
Oh, wow.
And then I said, accidents happen, it's not your fault. And then it said, "Depends." It was the same man's voice, said, "Depends." And then I said, "Is there something here that feeds off of the tragedy?" And it sounded like a voice came through the spirit box and said, "Exactly."
Wow.
So,
That's pretty cool.
yeah, some interesting spirit box responses. But I feel like there's something down there. I got an overwhelming sense that I was not alone at one point. And I got chills that ran all the way up my back. And it was creepy down there at one point, so.
Hey, that could be a good sign that, this place could get very active and that we should come back here and do a full-length episode. What do you
Yeah.
guys think? Should we?
Yeah, put down in the comments whether you think we should come back here and do a full investigation of the Bryan Granary. And if you think we should do more research into not only the dark entity, but Jack's death and possibly the woman who died by the train tracks. And we are gonna be looking forward to the future investigations coming up, and everyone put down in the comments and thank Connor for editing this video, because he is a real champion for being there for us, and he's a true friend. When we are our busiest and cannot put out content for you guys, he stepped in and he's willing to do that for us. So yeah, give him a huge thank you in the comments and hit that like button. And if you're new here, subscribe to the channel. We have a lot more locations coming up, and we are so excited to bring you along on our paranormal quest. If you want to support the channel additionally, you can become a member of the channel or join our Patreon, where we have additional perks for those that do support us in more additional ways. And we are gonna move on here. We have another location to film today, and we're excited to get to that next location and film there, which you will have watched previous to this one. So a little bit of a mind there. Bleep that, Connor. Take care, guys. We'll see you next week in the next video on our next adventure on our paranormal quest.